At this time, we will call this meeting to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Trustee DeBoer.
Here.
Trustee Trutchell.
Here.
Trustee Pfeiffer.
Here.
Trustee Walschlager.
Here.
Trustee Connor.
Here.
Trustee Hallquist.
Here.
Here. If you'd all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Trustee Hallquist.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Anybody that would like to speak in public comments can do so by stepping towards the podium at this time. Anybody on Zoom? Last call for public comments. With that, we'll move to our first item on the agenda, which is a consideration of the village board minutes for the May 22nd, 2023 meeting.
Make a motion to approve the board minutes of May 22nd, 2023.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the May 22nd meeting. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. We now have items related to vouchers. Consideration of vouchers for payment in the amount of $1,934,086.94.
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers in the amount of $934,086.94.
I do have one question, if I may.
We have a motion. You'll have to wait.
Okay.
For discussion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the vouchers for $1,934,086.94. Discussion.
My question was on the $27,000 tree survey. Just wanted explanation on the detail of what that is. I think that's monitoring the health of trees. Is that correct?
So that was a DNR grant that we put through last year. What we do is we hire tree service, and Wachtel Tree Service got the proposal. What they do is they do evaluations of all of our municipal trees, put a value to them, and put them on our GIS system in case there's an accident, if police department has to use that, put a value to it. And then what we do is we pay that invoice, and a DNR gives us half of that money back for a grant.
Great. That's all I was looking for, a little clarification on it. Sure. Thanks, Dave.
You bet.
On the municipal building, and this is something we'd have to look into, but we have these mat services for basically $500. And I had talked to someone else that had this, and they said it's much cheaper. Do we have, first of all, a custodian that we have that does this building, correct? Wouldn't it be money-wise to not have the service, just have it vacuumed? And when it gets, because they don't get real bad for a while, but when they do get from the salt and that, we replace them. You can get nice rugs at Menards or I think Menards, Home Depot. They've got some of the bigger ones at the heavier mat, and just have it vacuumed. Why are we paying this much money? I just know somebody that I know has a company, took over the company, and this was one of the first things they got rid of. They said it's ridiculous. You can just vacuum it and it's fine.
We can do that. We have a custodian for 4 hours between the library, us, and police department, so it'd just be less time for other
4
maintenance.
hours in what amount of time?
In a day.
Oh, well, I would assume they vacuum it anyway.
Sure.
So
We can, yeah, we
I
can
just
look
think
into
that's,
it.
500 is a lot of money.
Yeah, we can
I
look
mean,
into
I know it's not a lot, but
It's like pig water to Sundix water type value differences.
it's a place to save some money.
Yeah.
Just a suggestion. That's all I had. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Pig water.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have actions related to licenses and permits. We got consideration of operators, bartenders licenses. The list is not too long. We have, I want to make sure that I am zoomed in enough so I'm not missing anybody. Bear with me. Oh, thank you. We got Macy, Otto, Cynthia, San Miguel, Brooke Hafferman, Madison Landry, Brianna Kapatich, and Margaret Mersberger.
Make a motion to approve as read.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the licenses that were read. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have another operator's bartender's license. This is for Justin, I hope I'm pronouncing this correct, Bushke? Bushke? Justin Bushke. It's been recommended by police department looking into it, recommended for denial.
Yeah, so we received Justin's application for the operator's license. Chief Misko's recommend denial due to a felony drug conviction on October 17th of 2014, as well as operating while intoxicated or under the influence conviction on September 28th of 2020. Mr. Bushke was arrested by Menominee Falls Police Department on May 20th of 2013. His charges included possess with intent to manufacture, distribute, or deliver THC, which was a felony. He was convicted on October 17th of 2014. He was also arrested that same day for maintaining a drug trafficking place, a felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, a misdemeanor. Those charges, the latter, were both dismissed and read in on that same conviction date of October 17th of 2014. On Mr. Bushke's criminal history, there's a note on a CCAP disposition that the court case has been expunged from the official court record. We contacted District Attorney Susan Opper regarding the conviction, and their conviction was being expunged from the court record, and she informed us that the expungement only applies to court records only, meaning that any records held by law enforcement and district attorneys shows that he's still a felony offender. District Attorney Opper referred me to our village attorney as to how this felony conviction would apply to our operator license application. Village Attorney Christopher Kenke was consulted and believed that the felony conviction was clearly established on his criminal history, which makes it applicable to this process. So again, on the court case record, it shows expunged, but for criminal court records, it still shows him as a felony offender. And when we run him through our law enforcement database, he still shows as a felony offender. In addition, Mr. Bushke was arrested for operating while under the influence by the Town of Oconomowoc Police Department on December 3rd of 2019. He was arrested for OWI second offense, a misdemeanor, and convicted on September 28th of 2020. His first offense OWI arrest occurred on March 14th of 2014. He was arrested by the Town of Oconomowoc Police Department for OWI with a minor in the vehicle, also a misdemeanor. The minor was a 3-year-old. It was amended by a prosecutor, a court, and the court to an OWI second offense on September 28th of 2020. And again, that arrest from the Town of Oconomowoc Police Department, he also was arrested for operating with a prohibited alcohol concentration, which was dismissed on September 28th of 2020. He was arrested with a prohibited alcohol concentration of .206, so over the .08 legal limit to drive in the state of Wisconsin, and he had a 3-year-old child in the vehicle, and he was also responsible for for a traffic accident, is why police were contacted. It's the chief's recommendation to deny Justin Bushke's operator license application, and a letter was also sent via U.S. mail informing him of the same.
Do you want to address the board at all?
So I understand that I've made some mistakes in my past. One thing that I really strongly believe in is that people change and grow, and I've done nothing but grow from these experiences. I've successfully completed my probation both times, and I guess I'd just like you guys to really consider allowing me to do this. Thank you.
Where will you be working?
Beer snobs. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for the applicant?
And again, this is just to be able to serve alone. He can be a bartender.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
You under the impression that the opinion of the district attorney is correct, that you are still
I
a
mean,
felon but not on CCAP?
I really don't know if I agree with that or not. I mean, it's such a, I don't know what that word means, you know?
Right.
I was under the understanding that I should be scot clean and that it's gone, but I guess not. And if it's not, I get it. But also, I did everything I needed to do to get it expunged. I can buy a gun now, I can vote, I can do all these things, but I can't serve beer. It seems a little crazy to me, but I accept whatever you guys decide.
The only reason I was asking is state law prohibits us from giving the license if it's a felony. This is the first time I've ever had this come up.
So in addition, he says he could buy a gun. If you do a private background check, it also shows him as a felony offender. So it might be something more that you need to do as far as with the state, but you would get a denial in purchasing a firearm. And if you were in possession of a firearm, the district attorney would charge you for a felon in possession of a firearm.
That's very interesting, and that's not what my attorney told me, so.
Okay, just something to look into
Okay,
then.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, if no, I'll make a motion to deny the operator's license for Justin Bushke.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to deny the operator bartender's license for Justin Bushke. The discussion, if anybody has any. I know for myself, with the state does not allow us to provide, to allow, we're not really allowed to, we're not supposed to be giving a license if someone is a felon, so until that would be rectified to in some nature, then that would be something to look into. That's for myself. I'm just saying for myself.
I would agree wholeheartedly. I mean, we're being advised by police and by legal not to do this for that reason. And I do think, I agree that I think it's worth looking into, because if it's supposed to be expunged, figure that out and then come back.
Right. So that you, yeah, I would agree.
What happens with?
Right, so the $50 is for the staff time that's already background check and that kind of thing. Motion, I can call the question. Does anybody have anything else? When I say all in favor, anybody that says aye is saying we should deny the license, just to make sure that's clear. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Thank you. I do agree with you. People do change. Some of that stuff with that felony might want to be cleaned up.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate you guys' time.
Thank you. Now we have restricted species permits. And that is for, let me get to that license. Oh, this thing has so many pop-ups on it that I gotta dig through. We have restricted species permit for Jennifer Appleton at 448 West Capitol Drive. Is the applicant in the house? Would you like to go to the podium and just kind of tell us a little bit about what you're doing, very briefly?
Hi. We moved to Hartland just in 2019 with the excited that Hartland allowed chickens, because a lot of communities did not allow chickens. So we started with our base flock as our kind of our COVID project, and then we had a chicken die. And of course, I have 3 children, 10, 9, and 7. So we replaced that chicken, but you can't replace it with just one. You have to replace it with a few. So chicken math happened at our household. So as we've grown, we've kind of just been taking care of our family's direction, I guess. And now we're like, all right, we have 10 chickens, and we'd like to increase our restricted species permit. We were approved for 5, and we started with 4. So now we have 10, and we'd just like to get that approved. We're also asked to temporarily provide housing for 3 chickens from friends who moved out of a community that they could allow chickens and into a community that will not allow them to have chickens. It was going to be a temporary thing, but they can't get permission. So we're asking if we can keep them on our property. We have an acre, are just shy of an acre, so we do have lots of room. They're allowed to be out of their coop within a fenced-in area. It's a 4-foot fence. And yeah, we're enjoying enjoying our chickens, and it kind of turned into something a little bit more than we initially anticipated, but.
So what's the grand total with the babysitting of
13
the additional
total.
3? Okay. I just
13
wanted to know.
total,
Okay.
yep. And that is it. That is, a family of 5 does not need more than 13 chickens.
Just to clarify, she got approval for 5, she had 5, went down to 4, now she has 13. Is that correct?
Correct.
That's what she's requesting.
And now she's
Yes.
asking for approval for 13
Just
or 10?
Making sure
13.
we have approval for 10,
Okay.
or 13, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
If we did the approval for 10 due to the babysitting, she'd be 3 over.
That's right.
Because our PD will not know the difference between whose is whose and which is which.
How do your neighbors feel about your chickens?
Our neighbors are all excited about it.
So no complaints or
No
anything like that?
complaints.
Okay.
Yeah, we share a driveway with our next door neighbors. The addresses are a bit funny, so they're not 446, they're like 440 or something like that. So, yeah, they're like, as long as they're in the fence or not on the sidewalk, they're all fine with it. And no roosters.
Smells okay?
So how-
Smells okay.
I mean, I'm saying because that's something
Yeah.
that could bother neighbors.
Yep.
How
Yep.
long have you had the 13?
The 13 came in October. The 3 came in October. And that was gonna be a kind of over winter, gave our friends time to get approval. And they moved into an HOA, so they don't have approval.
And police, no issue, no calls over there yet?
No calls over there, no.
Okay.
Go ahead.
When they're out roaming or, not in the coop, and they're in the fenced-in area, is someone out there with them? Or are they out by themselves?
They're out by themselves.
The reason I ask is one of the properties that I'm familiar with, they do have a fence up, and the chickens either go under or over it.
Yeah, so we had an issue with them getting over our fence. So they have access to our deck, which has a picnic table on it, and they jump the picnic table and jump over the fence. So we just added an extra 2 feet to it's chicken mesh with garden stakes, and I put shepherd's hooks as kind of a deterrent, because then you can have hanging baskets. It looks kind of nice and as a deterrent for the chickens.
So is your fence 4 feet?
Our fence
basically?
is, so we have a 3-foot railing on our deck, and then there's a 2-foot chicken mesh that I just wrapped the deck, and now they haven't challenged that.
So they're only on the deck?
They're not only on the deck, they have access to the deck.
Oh, okay. But
So-
when they're out in the grass area, how high is that fence?
4 feet,
4 feet, okay.
yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve 13 chickens.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded to approve 13 chickens restricted species permit for 448 West Capitol Drive, Jennifer Appleton. Any discussion?
Nice touch adding the picture with the kids. It was,
They are pets.
Can I have a question? Do we have a maximum, or is?
We're the deciders of that.
Okay, I was just,
I had asked, at the last one that we had, that had wanted chickens, I made a mention at that meeting that I'd like to have us ruling that we have our ordinance to maybe set a maximum.
this does seem to be becoming a pretty regular occurrence, so I think that's something we should put on the docket for sure.
well, I mean,
I think we
they
need to
still
look at
have
it
to.
twofold, though. I think we need to look at, is it that they're becoming more popular because people want more homegrown food? Or is it, do they have the right to do that? Or is it becoming more popular just because Hartland's allowing it, but maybe it's that people, I don't know. And there's different sized properties, so the maximum gets tough. If someone's got 2 acres versus a house that's got 1/10 of an acre, it's a big difference on what I'd be open to allowing.
Yeah, but they still have to come for approval whether or not they have 1 or 13.
Correct.
Okay, so.
I was just saying on a
I
maximum.
don't
That's
know
what I
if we
was
have
gonna
to set
say.
up an ordinance.
A restricted species means they're not allowed.
Right.
They have to come here. So if we set a maximum on if we're setting a maximum of something we're not allowing,
Right.
I have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
That's where, I mean, restricted species aren't allowed. They have to come forward.
Right.
And from that, you guys have to determine.
Right.
I don't know.
No,
If the neighbors don't have issues.
some of it, I think, is land area, that kind of thing. I do have one question, two questions. What caused you to come here tonight? And then the other question is, the people that you talked about that you're babysitting the chickens for, and I'm just kind of noting this.
Yeah.
They moved into a place that does not allow chickens,
Yeah.
but you have a restricted species permit for 5, and other than that, you're not allowed chickens, so they're like, here, you take them.
Yeah, so that we were like, okay, well, hoping that it was going to be temporary, and they wanted their chickens, like a dog, they wanted their chickens to go to a good home if they had to stay. And so we were like, okay, we'll take them. We'll let you figure things out. So that's how we kind of ended up with the extra 3. But our thing, and this was just as, when we were researching where we were going to move to in 2019, I had come across something in the village of Hartland that it was like 2 chickens per person per household. Just as a like reference that we had done we were trying to do research with the communities that we were looking at. So that may be something that helps as you figure out if there's what the limit is. But
I
yeah.
just wanted to know, in the future, if someone
Yeah.
comes and says, we can't have chickens, can you take these? And all of a
Yeah.
sudden it puts you at 14 or 15, you can't either.
Fortunately, we are the only ones that we are the only friends.
I know.
Yeah,
I
so-
get it.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. All right, now we have alcohol license renewals. No, sorry, what did I miss?
3D.
Consideration of annual renewal of licenses and permits expiring June 30th, 2024. At this time, because of all these renewals, it is customary and required that we have a public hearing to receive comment on the various liquor licenses. So anybody that would like to come forward now, I am opening the public hearing. You can come forward and speak now regarding any of the liquor licenses that are up for renewal, or beer license, I think, anything that they... Does anybody else want to speak in public, the public hearing? Okay, at this time we will close the public hearing. And we have, I guess we'll go, we can go one by one. I was gonna originally just say, let's approve the whole, or go through the whole stuff, but, so for the renewal list,
License list for paper.
thank you. I am not reading every single one. There are a total of
13.
There's a total of 13 licenses. There's Reserve Class B, down. Okay, Class
one
B beer,
category.
Class B liquor licenses. Just so everybody knows, Class B, I don't know why they use the letters the way they do, but Class B means you're going to sit at a bar and drink right there. They're gonna pour you a drink or you're gonna have a beer right there. Just letting everybody know. That's not like a retail license where they're gonna sell it and take it away. That'd be a Class A, away. But Class B is where you're sitting. I always think of it as your butt is in a bar stool, so. But that's Class B, beer and Class B liquor. There's 13 of them. Anybody that has any questions on which ones they can, if they want to call any out specifically. Otherwise, we'll take them as a list.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 13 Class B beer, Class B liquor renewals.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the renewals of the licenses of those that had already held them. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Now, Hartland Hospitality Group LLC has a renewal for a Reserve Class B beer, Class B liquor license. This is does business as Zesty. The reason they say reserve is because this place originally paid $10,000 for the license. Now on renewal, they only have to pay $5,000.
Make a motion that we approve the reserve Class B beer, Class B liquor license.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for Zesty to get their liquor beer licenses. And any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we got the Flower Garden at 202 North Avenue is looking for a renewal of a Class A liquor license.
I'll make a motion to approve the Class A liquor license for the Flower Garden.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for the Class A liquor license for the Flower Garden.
Question?
Sure.
The agent for that is no longer with us.
We will have to check on that.
We would need
That, and I can't hear you.
updated info. The agent for the Flower Garden is deceased, and so we need better paperwork that's current.
I would agree with that on that.
Yeah,
If-
I think that's.
License expire.
End of June, so we can do it at the next.
Okay, perfect. So we'll,
Next meeting.
let's get a motion to table it, or postpone until next meeting.
Yeah, I'll withdraw my motion and postpone it till next meeting till we clarify the agent.
I'll withdraw my second, too. I withdrew my second.
Withdraw and are you giving your second on the motion that he made?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, just making sure. All in favor of postponing until the next meeting? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have Class A beer, Class A liquor. Again, this is away, so this would be like retail establishments, Fox Brothers, Piggly Wiggly, Walgreens, Sendix, Hartland Village Mart, which is Citgo, and CB Investments, which is the BP up at, is that?
It's Cardinal Service.
Sorry, it's the mobile? The mobile, I'm sorry. Again, Class A beer, Class A liquor.
Make a motion that we approve the Class A beer, Class A liquor for the 5 companies mentioned.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the renewal of the Class A beer, Class A liquor license for the 5 companies mentioned. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Yep.
What is the difference? These are carryouts. What about a bar that sells a six-pack and it's carried out?
It's covered under their
It
license for
is.
the
I just
B.
want to make sure that's all encompassed. Okay.
Typically, you'll pay a lot more too. But, I mean, that's only
Well, if
because
it's
of what they
like
can
quarter
make.
to 9 at night, sometimes it's a necessity. So, okay.
Now we got Class B beer licenses, so this means they can only serve beer. There's 6 of them on here.
Make a motion that we approve the Class B beer licenses for the 6 mentioned.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the renewals of the Class B beer licenses. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion is carried, which takes us to Class C wine licenses. There are 2 of those. That's Board and Brush and Enters Sports Grill.
I make a motion that we approve the Class C wine license for Board and Brush and Enter Sports Grill.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I want to clarify, Enters Sports Grill already has a Class B, Class B for their restaurant. This is for the beer garden, I'm sorry. Okay. I just wanted to clarify. Did we get a motion in a second?
Yep.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion is carried. Now we have consideration of an application for Class B beer license. This is an application, so this is now new applications. Class B beer license for the premises located at 540 Hartbrook Drive, Hartland Dreams, which is Sweet Dreams, doing business as Sweet Dreams. Again, this is for a Class B beer license. It's my understanding these are unlimited.
Correct.
We have to have a public hearing, so I'll open the public hearing at this time. Don't everybody come up at once, but please move towards the podium for anybody that wants to speak in public hearing. Since no one wants to speak in public hearing, we'll close public hearing at this time. Consideration of an action related to issuance of a Class B beer license for Sweet Dreams.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the beer license, Class B, for Sweet Dreams. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Only our liquor licenses, I'm just throwing this out so people understand, only the liquor licenses are restricted, and it's only Class B, meaning if you're gonna open a bar and serve everything. Beer licenses, those are unlimited. Up to our approval, but they're unlimited. We can just keep giving those out all day long to anybody, any business that wanted to serve them, so long as they fill out the application, do the proper things. Now we have consideration of annual licenses that expire June 30th, 2024, that do not require a public hearing. This is for arcade licenses, amusement device licenses, cabaret licenses, cigarette licenses, weights and measure licenses. We can go through each one by one. I personally don't find it necessary, but it's completely up to you. It is listed for each one of these in the packet. I believe we could do them as a group, and the motion would state annual licenses expiring June 30th, 2024, not requiring a public hearing.
I'll make a motion to approve the licenses expiring June 30th, 2024, not requiring a public hearing. Is that right, 2024? Okay. For arcade license, amusement devices, cabaret, as stated.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the licenses expiring on June 30th, 2024 that do not require a public hearing. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have a consideration of a second reading for a bill for an ordinance number 05222023-01, an ordinance to amend Chapter 70-3 of the Village of Hartland Municipal Code pertaining to the park hours with penalty. If anybody wanted to, well, you know the drill. If anybody wanted to pass this on this reading, they can, but you first would have to make a motion to suspend the rules, get a vote on that suspension of rules, and then make the motion to adopt, or we can just consider it the reading. So if anybody has any intention of changing anything in the ordinance, or requesting a change, or passing it, give me a heads up so that I know, because that was the reading. Last call. All right, so that reading for that ordinance 522-2023-01 has been done. We'll now move to a consideration of a second reading of a bill for an ordinance 522-203-02, an ordinance to amend Chapter 70-4 of the Village of Hartland Municipal Code pertaining to posting of notices. What goodies do we have in that one? Mr. Faulkner, can you give a very, very, very brief, just for public, so they know exactly what we just said, because it's just not as descriptive as sometimes they are.
So in this, these are park ordinance changes, staff, the park board and the village attorney went through them. The 70-4 is just 2 line changes on line 9 and line 13. All they did is change the superintendent, was change the director, because we don't have a superintendent. And it says his or her designee shall, that's on line 9. And on line 13 of the 70-4, again, they changed superintendent and changed the director, and the same thing, it says or his or her designee.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
So anybody wants to do anything, that would be the greeting.
Motion to amend?
If we would like them to amend, you would discuss it, and then we would make a motion or direct staff, one or the other. If you want to talk about what you can talk about right now what you're referring to.
Well, I'd like to make a motion so that we can approve this evening.
Oh, so you would make a motion to suspend the rules.
Sorry, to suspend the rules. I'll make,
Correct.
I make a motion to suspend the rules.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to suspend the rules. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve or adopt an ordinance to amend Chapter 70-4 of the Village of Hartland Municipal Code pertaining to posting of notices.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve, after the second reading, under the suspension of rules, ordinance number 522, 2023-02, an ordinance to amend Chapter 70-4 of the Village of Hartland Municipal Code pertaining to posting notices. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. All same rules apply to the next thing I'm going to read. Consideration of a second reading of bill for an ordinance number 0522-2023-03, an ordinance to amend Chapter 70-5 of the Village of Hartland Municipal Code pertaining to allowing the sale of fermented malt beverages within specific land areas. We do not.
This one on 70-5, again, the same group of people, staff, the park board, and the village attorneys. They changed some verbiage under lines 17, 18, and 19. It says the park board may allow fermented malt beverages to be possessed and consumed within specific park areas, and assurance of a permit allowed under Hartland Ordinance 6-66. During a special gathering event, a celebration, on gathering, assembly, or function. And then there's also under number 3, which is on line 20, 21, and 22, it says the park board may allow fermented beverages to be sold, possessed, and consumed within specific park land areas, which is permitted by the duty granted by the village board under all applicable provisions of Hartland Ordinance Chapter 6, Alcohol Beverages, Article 2. What this is in reference to is there was nothing ever stated in this for the beer garden, and this is what staff, park board, and the village attorney put to cover the beer garden.
All right, that reading is complete. All right, now we have items that were referred from the June 5th, 2023 Park Board meeting. We have discussion and consideration of an application for a special events permit for the Hartland Lake Country Rotary Club Splash Pad 1-year anniversary on July 15th, 2023. I was going to say,
It is 10 years.
10-year anniversary, which I think is great. It's been very well liked.
And it's July 14th.
Huh?
July 14th. You said July 15th.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I really?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Wow. I apologize. Yeah, it's 2 days rocking it now that they can drink all over the park. If anybody would like to make a motion, I'd entertain one.
I'll make a motion to approve the special events permit for Hartland Lake Country Rotary Club Splash Pad 10-year anniversary on July 14th, 2023.
Second.
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the 10-year anniversary on July 14th, 2023 for the special events permit for Hartland Lake Country Rotary Club Splash Pad. And a big thank you to the Rotary for helping with that for these last 10 years, because it is fantastic. People really like it. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. We'll be there. We'll be there. All 2 days of it. Now we have discussion and consideration of the application for the special events permit for Kids Talent Show in Nixon Park, August 5th, 2023.
Yes. So, we're looking to bring the talent show back to the park. The last attempt to coordinate this event that used to be way back when an annual occurrence was 2016, and it did not take. So we have started an effort. We have a committee together, and would like to get this going again in the park. We have 5 different categories of different talent, with room for 5 applicants per category. We are working to build a group of local celebrity judges to help boost, the attendance for this event. So should be really fun.
It's awesome.
It should be pretty cool.
I will make a motion to approve the application for the special events permit for the Kids Talent Show at Nixon Park on August 5th, 2023.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve that special events permit for the Kids Talent Show at Nixon Park on August 5th, 2023. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. I'm going to request a recess for clarification on some information. No.
You can see your red lights on.
Now we have consideration of contract for training services for Waukesha County Department of Health and Human Services.
So this is agreements that the Village of Hartland Police Department and Waukesha County Health and Human Services have had since 2018. It basically allows us, it's a MOU that allows us to carry Narcan free from the county, and it doesn't come out of our budget or anything to purchase Narcan. So with this, it's just this MOU has expired. We're looking for a renewal. Nothing's changed with the MOU. We contacted the village attorney. There's no issues from him. And then if this were not to go forward, we would just have to decide whether or not we're going to pay for the Narcan or not carry it at all. But this has saved many lives, and we have used this on patrol many times.
And this was previously signed by Deputy Chief Claire at that time. Chief Misko just felt it should come forward for the village approval. That's all.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the contract for training services with the Waukesha County Department of Public Health and Human Services and Hartland Police Department.
I'll second.
Seconded?
Yes, sir.
We have a motion to, for,
That's us. You're at-
con-
you're at nine.
for contract, yeah. Motion to for contract for training services with Waukesha County Department of Health and Human Services. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Sorry. So now we have consideration of reappointments to the Delhart Commission by myself, the village president. These obviously have to be approved by the board before they would be, official. We have Dave Lamoran, Ann Walschlager, and Adam Pfeiffer. If anybody else on the board wants to be on that committee, there is one opening. I will serve as the interim for now, but I'd wait to hear from you guys before we jump to that.
It's a real gas.
Every 2 months.
See what I did there?
I got it. I picked up on it. So we have, again, Dave Lamoran, Ann Walschlager, Adam Pfeiffer. It would take a motion for them to be reappointed onto Delhart.
I'll make a motion to reappoint the fine trustees for this position.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the 3 names that have been put on. For discussion's sake, I do want to say there was a 4th there, Donna Doral. We did reach out to her. I asked the village to reach out to her to ask if she'd like to continue to serve. She has opted that she does not want to continue to serve on that board. So I just want to make sure that there's clarity there, that there was a reach out to ask, would you like to continue? But she does not want to continue on that board. So with that, I'll call the question unless anybody else has any discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. So Dave Lamoran, Ann Walschlager, and Adam Pfeiffer are approved for new appointments that will expire May 31st, 2024. Now we have announcements.
From the PD, we received a $1,000 grant from Quick Trip to be used towards our squad camera system. Village staff met with John Sabanos from Zimmerman Architects to get an update regarding the building study. John was incapacitated with a medical issue. He's now making his way back into the office. The plan moving forward is to have John represent his findings to the village board at the village board meeting on July 24th.
Thank you.
At the fire department, we were down in May on calls by about 14, but first 3 days of June, we ran 32 calls in 3 days. So, also the truck went on the auction site today, and it'll be up there until the 26th.
Thank you, Chief.
Thursday night concerts, we're 3 weeks in. Last week was a fantastic showing. We also had Amanda from Bake 59, their new branch manager, come with a large $8,000 check, pulled her up on stage. It was really nice. She's interested in continuing a partnership with the Village of Hartland. So exciting news there. We are less than 3 weeks away from Hometown Celebration, so still needing, there's a greater need for volunteers on Saturday night, as we have upped the number of bars that we'll have under the tent. So of course that means we need more bartenders. So people can reach out to me if they have any questions regarding those opportunities. And then today summer camp started over at Hartland North, so it was a fun day. And it's gonna be a great summer.
If I could ask a question with regards to bartenders' needs for Saturday night.
Yes.
If someone wants to bartend, they need to get that temporary license?
No.
David,
Oh.
Sarah have it.
Okay.
Right.
Got it, okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
a few weeks ago, the Women's Club of Hartland gave the Hartland Public Library a $1,000 grant. We're probably going to use it for the teen area renovation or patio seating out front. And this past Saturday, we held our summer reading program kickoff. We had almost double attendance as we did last year. It didn't rain this year, so that was probably a huge draw. And we also did it on a Saturday instead of a Friday, so we believe that helped as well. And today was the official launch of the rest of the summer reading program activities. And we already are on par to surpass total sign-up from last year at all 3 levels, kids, teens, and adults.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
DPW, I came in this morning and we had a voicemail. It was a compliment from a team from a different community. They said that our baseball field conditions are excellent. So we'll take that compliment. We'll share it with staff tomorrow morning. We're working through the budget. We're doing miscellaneous sidewalk repair throughout the village, and we're preparing Nixon Park for hometown celebration weekend.
You said that was a compliment from another team. Does that mean another team outside of the area?
Outside the area, yes.
Oh, how about that?
You don't want to tell them that we found the foundation of the old library due to a sinkhole in our parking lot across the street?
That is repaired, Ryan.
But we did, right? We found the foundation of the old library.
Yes, we had a sinkhole across the street in a community parking lot. It was about 4 feet
No
deep.
drain tile behind that retaining wall. Just kidding, just kidding. That's not your fault, Dave.
No.
Anybody else? Sure. Okay, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Make a motion for adjournment.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This meeting's adjourned.